Hello and welcome. Hey, let me ask you something. Are you over 40, doing all the right things with your diet and workouts, but just not seeing the results you really want? Well, if that sounds familiar, you are in exactly the right place. We're about to dive into a tool that could completely change how you approach your health and fitness.
In this explainer, we are going to unlock a secret weapon for your fitness goals, and we're going to do it by turning meditation into your brain's very own personal gym. Seriously. And hey, as we get into this, if you find this stuff helpful, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on what's next. I'd also love to hear your experiences, so drop a comment below.
So here's our game plan for today. First, we'll talk about what meditation really is and what it's not. Then we'll get into the specific challenges that pop up when we're over 40. After that, we'll cover the nuts and bolts of training your attention, look at the awesome benefits, and finally lay out a super simple path to make this a regular thing in your life.
All right, let's dive right into our first section, a new kind of workout. Because before we can really use this powerful tool, we've got to understand what it is. And I promise, it's probably not what you're thinking.
You know, for so long, meditation has had this mystical vibe, right? We picture monks on a remote mountaintop, or we think the whole point is to somehow force your brain to be totally empty. But the reality? It's way simpler and so much more practical. It's just a mental skill you can learn. And the goal isn't an empty mind, it's just about noticing where your mind goes. That's it.
And at the heart of this practice is something called mindfulness. And it really is this simple. It's just the act of noticing, oh, hey, my mind's wandered off again. And then gently, without any judgment, just guiding your focus back to one thing. And usually that one thing is your breath. It's a practice, not about being perfect, which means absolutely anyone can do it.
So now that we've cleared that up, let's talk about why this is so incredibly important, especially for those of us navigating life over 40. This brings us right to section 2, the over 40 challenge.
You know, once we hit our 40s and beyond, our bodies and minds they work a little differently. It's not a bad thing, not at all. It just means we need to get a bit more strategic with things like recovery, stress, and focus if we want to get the fitness results we're really after.
And this is where it all starts to click. After 40, our bodies really do need more intentional recovery time. We need a reliable way to switch off from all that daily stress that leads to bad sleep and that stubborn weight gain that just won't seem to quit. We also need way better focus during our workouts to keep from getting injured. So meditation doesn't replace what you're already doing, but it complements it perfectly by tackling these exact issues head-on.
So how do we actually do this? Well, that brings us to section 3, training your attention muscle. I absolutely love this analogy because it frames meditation exactly like a physical workout. It's all about building your mental endurance, one rep at a time.
The workout itself is incredibly simple. First, you just sit and focus on your breath. Now your mind is going to wander. That's not you failing. That is literally the entire point. When a thought pops up, you just notice it, acknowledge it without judging it, and then gently bring your focus right back to your breath. That little loop, noticing and returning, that is the exercise. That's the mental rep that builds your endurance.
And just a quick but really important reminder here. Everything we're talking about in this explainer is based on suggestions and our research. It is absolutely not intended to be medical advice, so please always chat with a healthcare professional for that.
Okay, so we know what it is, we know how to do it. Now let's get to the best part, the payoff. Let's move on to section 4 and talk about the real tangible benefits you get from this, and some super simple ways to get started.
This mental training has a direct impact on your physical fitness in 3 huge ways. First, you'll start having more mindful workouts, which builds a stronger mind-body connection that helps you listen to your body and prevent injuries. Second, you get major stress relief, which is absolutely crucial for better sleep and for managing your weight, because that stress hormone cortisol can totally mess with those efforts. And finally, you sharpen your focus, which is a superpower both in the gym and in your everyday life.
And getting started is way easier than you think. You could just try a simple breathing meditation for 5 minutes right after a workout. A body scan is amazing for relaxing and noticing where you're holding tension. And hey, if you like a little guidance, there are thousands of free guided meditations online. On a related note, some people find natural supplements can help support the nervous system. If you're curious about things like ashwagandha, I've put some informational links down in the description for you.
All right, let's bring this all home. We're moving on to our final section, and it's the most important piece of the puzzle, your path to consistency. This is how we make it all stick.
And this, right here, is the biggest takeaway.
Meditation is not a magic pill. Just like you wouldn't expect to get fit after one trip to the gym, you won't see results from one session. But with consistency, all those small efforts start to build on each other. And trust me, the payoff is huge.
So, I'm going to leave you with this question. What 5 minutes will you claim for your mental fitness today? It doesn't have to be a big, grand gesture, just one small, consistent step. Let us know what you're thinking in the comments below. And if you found this explainer helpful, please don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you won't miss the next one. Thanks so much for joining me today.